transition from largely 2D to largely 3D gameplay.
Yeah.
And it was discovered with practice that you kind of needed some kind of control over the camera. And the second stick...
Or a functional automatic camera, which
Yeah.
some games have pulled off with, you know, rather good skill.
And if you look at early PlayStation 3D games like Crash Bandicoot, it tends to be like fixed camera sort of shit.
Yeah, just the early PS1 game Pandemonium, which I actually remember enjoying.
Like basically 2.5D, because you only really move
Yeah.
in like 2 dimensions per level.
Alright, that guy ran away.
There's a guy in a stump. Haha! Thought he could hide.
Someone's in here. Gotcha!
So I think the dual analog sticks were an important innovation that was necessary for the evolution of gaming. And
Yeah.
that's why none of the innovations in the latest generation of gaming will last, because there's been no equivalent big change like the changeover from 2D to 3D that would justify a big change in hardware.
No,
Is me
there has
point.
not. Do you think there's another one coming? Like, what really can be done from here?
I think Oculus is a way to go. I think that will add to immersion, which is always important. It's not really essential though. I mean, I think the DualShock controller perfects a handheld controller for video games. I don't think you can get much better than that for what video games are.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about, like, what could possibly be done on top of that. I mean, fuck you.
As people have routinely demonstrated, you try to do stuff on top of that and it just adds nothing. Hey, that guy's specky.
Eat it, Otacon monkey.
He's a specky monkey.
Well, I was thinking, like, perhaps a move to more buttons. Caught you in the air. Buttons around the back, so you're not having to sort of.
But then how would you put the controller down?
You know, I don't. Is that such a huge issue?
Well, if you put the controller down, you might press the buttons accidentally.
Well, just, you know, that's why you have, like, pause, and the pause button could function independently and not be sort of.
I'm not sure it's...
I mean, like I said, I'm spitballing ideas because there have been times where I've been using both thumbsticks, and, you know, you have to jump jump the right thumb onto something else to get, you know, to activate a different function, to open a door, to select a grenade or whatever, and there have been times where I've thought to myself, this is really fucking inconvenient, and I wish maybe that there was just an extra button that my index fingers or whatever could reach.
Well, your index fingers are working the shoulder buttons, usually.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so like the, where are we? Index, middle, and ring. Like the middle and ring fingers, I think.
The trouble with that is that fingers lose dexterity fast as you go along the line.
Yeah, but I think, like, I was having that problem when I first started playing Guitar Hero. Like, my little finger was just not useful. And then over time that changed. I think maybe...
Possibly, but all you're asking your finger to do in that instance is just hold a button in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I reckon we can get used to it.
I mean, the middle and ring finger sort of have lack the dexterity of the index finger because they share the same tendon.
Yeah.
There's an experiment you can do to illustrate that I won't explain in the moment.
Okay.
It's a very visual experiment.
That's a fun experiment, kids.
I can't really
You're not going to find out about.
I can't really describe the experiment. There's an episode of QI where they demonstrated, so maybe Google it, you lazy bum.
Where are you, fucking monkeys?
They're monkeying around somewhere.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh man, we're over an hour already. Didn't even have to go into questions. I think the monkeys distracted us. We started having fun when the monkeys got involved.
It's their horrible little eyes, like,
Yeah.
and the way their faces don't change or move. They're just creepy little fucking things. And the way the way they come at you when you sort of see them and they get upset, but they're sort of attacking you, but not, which just makes it less pleasant even.
So
I want to find this last one. Where do
ha! Good eye
I
there.
have no way of not. Oh, just missed him.
Too bad you just missed him. That's a reference to something, and I don't expect anyone to get that.
Hey. What is it a reference to? Because I think I might know it, but I'm not 100%
There's
sure.
a game called Silly Putty I played on the Amiga.
Alright, no, I was thinking something very different.
It might have been a quote from something else, but that's what I know it from.
You're gonna fall over. Oh, this goes so slowly.
Solid Snake, Super Agent. Study monkeys!
Got you!
There you go.
Alright, no one's gonna beat me on the internet with my 6 minute 39 fucking second waste of everybody's life.
So I think what we've learned today is that when Hideo Kojima is boring you and getting in the way with shitty controls, there's always the monkeys.
Hey, it's the monkeys.
And people say they monkey around.
Instant classic this episode. I think we're gonna
I
put this
think
on
so, yes.
A DVD compilation of greatest occurrences.
Well,
I won't say hits.
nothing more to do but pick my word for next time.
Man, I'd like $2 billion.
Why did you bring that up again?
I'd like $2 billion. I'm curious.
Well,
I'd
how
like to...
about you work hard at making internet videos, and then perhaps you could start making lots of money from it if you put some fucking effort in.
No, I'll put the reverse of effort in. I'll play scary games and shriek into a webcam.
What you have to realise, Gabe, is that when I was doing this stuff early on, I was doing it for the love of it, with no expectation of money. But because I took a professional attitude to it, now it's my job.
I know. Well, you said you were throwing things at a wall hoping it'd stick so you didn't have to have a real job.
Yeah,
so.
but I put some effort into it.
You were born to sell out. You're just itching to never have to do...
Well, so do you. You're saying, God, I'd love $2 billion.
I'm saying it facetiously. I mean, I'm not saying, boy, I'd like to have a lot more money, which could conceivably happen. I'm saying, boy, I'd like to have a baffling sum, which is almost just it's an abstraction.
Oh, I see. You'd like money
like
in
just
the sense
weird
that,
magical money.
Yeah, in the sense that, Batman's superpower is limitless money.
Yeah. And so again, I can't help but think, like, what would I do? Like, what would that do to me? Would I stay the same?
Stay away.
Blah.
The book we're using today is Treasure Island, incidentally, by Robert Louis Stevenson.
I'm picking the book for your next one.
It's a hardback Reader's Digest edition. Say when again.
When again?
Try again.
What was the word?
It was just like various small words.
Okay. When?
Boat.
Okay.
Boat. Well, plenty of room there.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, the sentence was...
We'll play the exciting game Boat Formers.
Blimey, it's actually a hugely long run-on sentence.
I noticed that in a lot of classical literature, like writers back then would just be like, fuck it.
Robert Louis Stevenson learned to use a full stop. I'm just going to go back to the last semicolon.
No, honestly, go to the start. I want to know I want to know how long the sentence is.
Okay, all right. I had quite made up my mind that the mutineers, after their repulse of the morning, had nothing nearer their hearts than to up anchor and away to sea, semicolon. This, I thought, it would be a fine thing to prevent, and now that I had seen how they left their watchmen unprovided with a boat, I thought it might be done with little risk. Yeah, I think Robert Louis Stevenson was getting paid by the word back in those days.
The comma thing is not uncommon for sort of older literature. It's fucking insane.
Good night, everybody, and as always, monkeys.
Sweet, delicious monkeys.
Oh, didn't see you there, viewers. I suppose if you want to take a drive out, then... What a day I've had. I had to have my head cut off and put on a much smaller body.
This is waking up every day with depression.
Everybody limbo! I'm going this way, I don't give a shit.
We got to play a good game.
Well...
Take that, egg.
A very quiet, good game.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the charm.
Boing, boing. Yes, my
Was this the progenitor of the big head, little body, childlike thing, or was
I wouldn't say so.
No. Well, I mean, in games. I mean, it's not an uncommon trope, just sort of existing throughout human fiction.
Yeah, but I don't think this was the first game that did it.
That's what I'm trying to think.
I would say Braid was the progenitor.
Also, Braid did come before this one.
The standard indie game archetype of small child, big head, exploring scary world with deep storytelling, maybe.
See, now they're all blurring together. Which one was Braid?
That's the time travel one.
Was that meant to be a kid? I thought that was a dude.
Well, he had a big head.
Yeah, but I think that was an adult. This is a kid. Kids are supposed to have small bodies and big heads. There was a kid in my high school who, for the whole of year 8 and 9, everyone called him Little Big Head, because just the growth spurt just hit his skull first. It was fucking amazing.
So anyway, the word we picked last week was, you'll recall, indistinct. And I thought, what better than a silhouette game?
With some lovely sort of indistinct backgrounds that I think
and
give a good sense of character and space to the
very indistinct death that I just had. And a very indistinct plot.
Which I think is quite good. I think, this is one of those ones we point out of building character and world with no dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, I think the small charm, big scary world thing is overrated a bit. Seems to get automatic indie acclaim, but this isn't a bad game because of it. It's just a good game despite of it, I'd say.
Well, I mean, it's that problem again of everyone doing something doesn't make the good versions of it bad, and it's really easy to lose sight of that when people are rubbing like repetitive crap in your face. That sometimes these things, like the early modern, the first Modern Warfare game was good.
Faster. Faster.
Does that actually do anything?
You fucking boat. I don't know. I just assume it might because
This reminds me of a dream I've had.
Well, you were sailing with an owl and a pussycat in a beautiful pea green boat.
No.
Did you dine on mince and slices of quince?
No. I was not that nursery rhyme.
Okay. I remember this. You have to use the boat to jump up. This is mostly pulling stuff into a place so that you can jump onto a place.
And what's the old step platform they call down there?
I wouldn't say it was a step platformer. Flashback is a step platformer.
Well, yeah, but this...
Prince of Persia is a step platformer.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, the steps became analog, but I still think, you know what I mean? I think the game is still within that.
I'm not sure I agree.
Alright, well, how would you define it then?
I'd just call it a platformer.
Well, do you not think that they have a very close kinship to step platformers, with the pulling up and the pushing, the pulling, the objects, the way...
But every platform has that these days. Oh, I'm dead!
You fucking buttnut.
That happens. Sorry, the screen's a bit small on the TV because I had to run it windowed.
Excuses.
Oh yes, I remember this as well. You know there's an achievement for getting through this whole game with only 5 deaths? Ha 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 ha.
Is there an achievement for getting through not dying at all?
Possibly.
It'd be funny if there wasn't. Exactly 5 deaths. Or everything you accomplish is meaningless.
Less than 5 deaths. Then.
It is a good game though. I like this. I always this is one of those ones where
this was the XBLA, as I recall.
Yeah.
First release.
Wasn't this when Ebert first wanted someone to show him a game that was art? This was the first thing I thought of because I think it's a.
Really?
Well, I think it's simple, but it builds in difficulty. So I think anyone can pick this up and figure it out, even if you're old. And I think it has.
Well, that rather a patronising comment there, Gabriel.
Oh, you know what I mean, like Ebert old. Like, I don't understand these games and your rap music, like that kind of old. I'm not saying old as in like just pure numbers.
Right. Oh, there's a rock.
There's a thing.
Aha.
Na, 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 na.
Foiled you. That's probably the wrong mindset.
Yahtzee belongs in a museum.
Well, Roger Ebert does.
Yeah.
Establish that.
His own.
Especially now.
I think it'd be cool to have my ashes displayed in a museum.
Well, they're not going to be that enticing to look at, are they?
No, but I mean, if you do something relevant enough, it's
Boing.
like, here.
Boing.
Can it really? It's not. You're not really lying there if it's ashes. It's like, what is it? Here sits Gabe. Oh. How would you describe that if you like ashes? Rests.
Here is an arrangement of Gabriel.
I really like that. An arrangement of Gabriel.
Yes, a rather haphazard one, it
Yeah.
must be said.
A pile of Gabe.
Here is a quantity of Gabe.
Say that next time I have sex.
It might be.
That's
Might be the whole quantity, it might not be. You just don't know. Whee! See, this isn't a dark game, we're having fun.
Whimsy. Childlike wonder.
Wonder if you can go all the way around.
That, always the question. Did you ever try that as a kid? Like going all the way around?
No. It's possible though, I've seen a video.
Huh.
But you have to be like standing on it and using all your weight.
Was it a fixed...
Hoo-ha.
Was it a fixed connection swing or was it a chain swing?
I can't remember.
Because I don't think it's possible on a chain swing. I think a fixed connection you have the leverage to swing yourself, but I think a chain swing you just can't.
Okay then.
Unless you have some kind of rockets.
But anyway, the whole big-headed child a scary world thing I think is really popular in indie games because it speaks to a sort of the mindset of the person who doesn't want to grow up. It's the man boy's favourite game.
See, I wouldn't say that. I'd say the reason it's popular is because
It's
a
an
few got great acclaim, and then people just it becomes the format of like how Oscar movie is itself a genre. Like it just became the format of arty for early gaming.
Possibly. But I still think...
Because again, I don't think Braid's a man-childy thing really at all.
Well,
I
it
think it's a
kind of
child.
is if you go through it, because the plot of the game is he's rescuing a princess. I mean, the whole point of the game is that's...
Isn't that sort of like,
is that he kind of, by the end, he's kind of exposed as someone who's placed an idealistic goal on something that's more complex.
Well, that's what I mean. I think there's a version of that. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I wouldn't call it the man-child attraction so much as once something gets established as arty, that's where everyone just gravitates toward if they want to be arty.
Oh, here's where the fun starts.
I'm Princess Spider.
You ain't no princess.
I'm a metaphor for spiders. Shut up! Alrighty, so what are you going to do about that?
I think what you have to do is you have to trick it into smashing the ground.
I think you're going to die to get too close to this thing.
Hello. I think that did it.
Yeah, the twang.
Oh no, one more. It's supposed to jar that man trap off that branch.
Man trap.
So did I say man trap? Perhaps I meant spider trap.
Dun dun dun.
I think this game kind of loses something after the whole spider sequence, because I think that's the highlight of the game for me.
It is rather good.
Hmm.
But I mean, so this is what I mean about being...
Come and get me.
Like someone not familiar with the problem-solving tropes of video games,
Come and get me again.
I think could play this game. I think it's got a really good sort of difficulty curve. I think it illustrates new sort of puzzle mechanics. Hold on to it, move forward, and then move back as it raises up.
Yeah. Ha ha ha! You dumb spider! I'm your king now.
Yeah, you stupid jerk.
Are you just gonna stay there? Do you want some more?
Hey, I know. Do exactly what you did before. I'm sure that won't end poorly.
Yeah, you want some more? Come and get me. I'm really juicy.
And it's got no HUD. Like, there's no sort of lists.
That was close.
Yeah. There's no like big lists of complex controls. I think it has a really good example of how you build complexity out of just well-organized simplicity.
Well, I had to get my master race on to get it running in windowed.
Master race. How'd you do that then? Explain it to the rest of the master race.
Had to edit the config. How about
Slow down, Neo. Okay, we aren't all elite hacksaws. I need you to explain that for the regular people.
Well, I had to find the file that was the config, and then I had to edit it. But
The world of the digital age has left me behind.
But I do think the whole Small Child and Scary World does speak to rather clear themes of a coming of age, and it's frequently a theme that appears in such games. No, this is the bad time, bad touch, bad touch.
Not friend. Don't want.
Keep a lookout for insects as a recurring theme in this game, by the way. That's me getting my game critic on.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that.
Well,
Look out for insects. They're a theme of the game.
It's a recurring theme as part of the whole...
I mean, what do you think that theme relates to?
It's an evocation of the whole idea of being a small thing in a huge world that you can't understand.
Yeah. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Even the insects are bigger than you, and they constantly victimize you. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
People only say that when they're eating you. No one says that when it's just perfectly harmless.
This is cute, though. No, please don't eat me, Mistress Spider. Help, help, help. I'm hopping away.
I'm crawling up the birth canal.
Hopping away with all my speed.
Boing. This reminds me of the...
Bollocks.
Oh, for God's sake.
I didn't think I'd hop that far.
This reminds me of the time I duct taped the neighbor kid up. He let us do it. We found these 4 big rolls of duct tape my dad had bought, and we're like, hey, let's misuse this. So I was like, we should make a mummy, and Stephen just went, all right, and then sat down, and he just let us wrap up. And the last thing he said was, don't cover my eyes. So the last thing we did was covered his eyes. And then we just let him hop around the front yard for a bit before we pointed in the direction of his house. It was great.
You are a horrible friend.
He was a neighbor. Neighbor kids really aren't your friends, they're just there.
You get too much pleasure out of Schadenfreude.
Dude, shut up! It's mummifying another human being and watching them hop around. That's funny.
Yeah, don't... Oh, well, you convinced me now. Since you said it's funny, I've suddenly realised where the humour lies. Oh, dear.
You butt nut. You laugh at other people's fucking expense.
Well, only when they're being really dumb.
You don't think letting me wrap you up in duct tape is really dumb?
Well, he clearly said, don't put it over your eyes, so you were just being malicious at that point.
Yeah, that was a foolish thing to trust me on that one.
Well, but now you're just blaming the victim. That's like saying she shouldn't have dressed like that if she didn't want it.
Well, the funny...
Saying you shouldn't have trusted me because I'm obviously a repellent human being.
Rape analogies.
Yeah, I had a feeling that would be death.
Yes, everything's like rape, Yahtzee, you're right. That doesn't diminish the horror of that at all.
Well, I should have seen the comments last week.
Wow, I don't look at the comments.
Well, there were some
the same every week. That's all the comments are always the same. Hey, here's a fun game, people. Don't comment this week. Just don't. I'm curious. I want to see how many of you can resist.
To this man. I need to populate the Q&A list.
How many of you can resist just commenting? Don't comment first because it's dumb and been done and it's not interesting. Don't comment at all. Just don't comment. I want to see if you can just do that. Don't comment. If you've commented already, delete your comment. Let's see if we can make this a comment-free YouTube thing without having to block comments.
Maybe people want to feel like they're part of something larger than themselves.
You don't need to. You're good enough.
Okay.
Well, you should. You're fine. You're fine as you. You don't need to be part of something bigger. Who says?
Well, a person who joined the army probably wouldn't agree with you there. Hey, what are you? Ah, you're a corpse. Well, that explains that. Well, speaking of YouTube comments, one of our news stories that came out this week was that I died. YouTube superstar PewDiePie has rather publicly turned off comments on his videos. Oh, bollocks.
Hey, Yahtzee, I've got this great idea to solve this puzzle. Do exactly the same thing.
I wasn't doing exactly the same thing. Just like, I wasn't sure how...
Turned off comments, yes, because there's nothing of value occurs in PewDiePie's comment threads.
Well, I do actually do a once-over on the comments on our videos, just because I'm looking for questions to populate the Q&A file.
Because you don't check your Twitter?
Well, I do check my Twitter as well.
You just don't respond. You don't validate people.
Well, no, because...
Full of hate.
That sort of makes you part of something that I'm not sure I want to be part of. This is probably gonna...
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen here.
Oh, yeah, thought as much. Whew, that was a close one.
Skinnier pants there.
But I can sort of understand someone like PewDiePie, like, turning off the comments, because the number of viewers he's get, is much white noise after a while.
That's what I find perplexing, is... you'll see it on every now and then...
I'm not sure what I was...
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen that coming either. I'm just being a jerk.
That's the trouble with this game. It's just kind of trolly.
Stuff happens, yeah.
It's like I Want to Be the Guy, but directed by the guy who did The Seventh Seal.
No, to be fair, nothing's as bad as I Want to Be the Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure after that game came out, there was a bunch of people who wanted to make, like, their own version of it.
There were a bunch of people who wanted to be the guy, certainly.
I did play that. It was an exercise in cruelty.
Yes.
Fun,
Swish.
Oh, pointies. Don't want to land on pointies.
So hard to run on modern PCs, though. I don't know what the fuck kind of engine they were using for it. I think I remember hearing somewhere it was multimedia fusion.
Goes too fast or goes too slow?
Hey, I'm smelling a rat here. So what I like about Limbo is its use of physics. I mean, you can, just by the way it wobbles, you can tell it's not organic. But the actual spider's legs moved in a very organic fashion.
I think you can actually just walk past that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if this is going to kill me. If I do.
If you don't remember, it doesn't matter, and it probably will kill you, and it doesn't matter.
Hello.
Hey, you dick.
Hey, look, I can be a spider too. Should have had the other spider show up and little black love hearts appeared over its head.
The sad thing is, like, the spider's demise I actually find quite melancholy, I feel sort of bad for it.
Don't spoil it! Damn you. You spoil it, the spider dies, and I think that's one of the most interesting parts of the game. Why'd you have to do that? Why do I keep you around?
This isn't Let's Deconstruct yet.
Don't. Just because I asked you to download Silent Hill 2 for me doesn't mean I'm actually going to do that now. I just want to play around with the concept. But yes, let's move off that. Do you ever watch Mr. PewDiePie?
No.
Me neither.
I think YouTube views should only count once you're over 18.
I think he tends to get well, he gets a lot of traffic, but he also gets a lot of detractors because he's very lowest common denominator. But then so is Mr. Bean.
Someone showed me something.
Everyone likes to see a nice, straightforward kind of humour, don't they?
I'd still say there's an art to simple. Like,
I suppose.
oh,
I fell for it.
that was tricky. You little shadow dudes are tricky.
No one could ever have got past
There's
that
no
on their
duck
same
in this,
try.
is there?
Tell me you got past that on your first try, and I will not believe you.
On someone's first playthrough of the game, sight unseen, no, you are not getting through this without dying, unless you have like some sort of, ability to perceive the future, like in the Golden Man or something.
Okay, don't go that way, because the man trap's there now.
Was it the Golden Man? Which was? Yeah, I think it was the Golden Man.
What's the Golden Man?
One of the sci-fi authors of lore, I think Heinlein. It was basically about a future era where there were mutants everywhere, and one of them, there was a government agency that went around and eradicated them, but there was one who was just this tall, beautiful golden man.
Piss!
And he didn't remember the past.
I wasn't referring to the Golden Man there, I was just saying there's a big spider coming to eat me.
Could perceive the future and would just, move flawlessly toward, like, beneficial futures toward him, but it was kind of like an animal. It's an interesting story.
Here's a crafty little puzzle. Like, you can't actually continue until the spider is close enough. So it creates a sort of gate, but in a way that's quite effective for atmosphere building as well.
So
Rather elegant design, really.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative of design elements of games that tie the pacing to the mechanics of the game.
Yes. It's like Mario Kart. Sorry, I can't really... I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
I'm just like, okay. Because I gave you the benefit of the doubt and had a thought to myself like... Oh, poor spider.
That's what we call rocking a hard place.
I gave you the benefit of the doubt with that sort of simile and was like, he has to have something here. He can't just be saying words. Nope.
This log is going to move, isn't it? Okay.
Nope. So that was a trick log. You got to be careful of those.
Bloody trick logs.
Trick logs.
It's just like the ones I find on my toilet seat.
Seat?
It's not even a trick. I keep telling them.
You just shit on the toilet.
Yes.
Just get you a little bullseye in the bowl. That's what we need. Yeah, it's just pinching a loaf on the rim.
So, yeah, I suppose I can. Ha! Now the shoe is on the other foot.
Take this, you sad one-legged ball.
This is a part of the game I quite like because it's a reversal. Sort of, you were once the prey of the spider, and now you are the spider's tormentor. Not only are we going to pull its last remaining leg off, we're going to walk all over its still alive body.
Stop it.
Hey kid, I'll give you a box of Smarties if you stop that.
I'll give you $5 if you don't do what you're
Okay,
thinking
fine,
of
I'll
doing.
join your adventure. I'll be your little sidekick. It'll be fun.
I can
what
make
are you
webbing.
doing? What are you doing? Ah! Oh! I'm still alive!
Finish me!
Jump up and down on me or something, for fuck's sake. Sorry.
Yeah, I find that kind of melancholy. That's kind of sad to me.
Like I said, dog-eat-dog world. I think that's a rather lovely illustration of the harshness of this world.
It is, yeah. I think.
Dialogue-free storytelling and incorporating gameplay. It's all so lovely.
Do you think this is something that I think indie gaming maybe has the propensity for a little better because there's just like this is a game designed by a guy. Do you think it's the kind of thing that a committee, sort of a big development team can't do as well?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it depends what sort of committee it is.
I'm asking you if you in your knowledge can think of a game that was designed by a committee that would disprove prove or disprove my query.
Well, to be honest, I can't think of many games that are like Limbo. I mean, in terms of atmosphere.
Well, beyond the sort of more derivative ones.
I mean, maybe something like Amnesia: The Dark Descent might create a similar sort of vibe, but from different directions. Or Silent Hill 2. I'm trying to remember now. I think I need that box again.
Looks like it. You can't float across that on maggots.
Nope. So anyway, some people argue against deactivating YouTube comments because of free speech. What would you say to that?
Well, I mean, look, I mean, it's not a free speech thing because that's PewDiePie's channel. He's, it's like saying that you have a right to be in my house. You actually don't.
Well,
and
that would only be a valid analogy if you routinely showed films at your house and invited literally everyone to come in and look at them with you.
Yeah, but there's structures within YouTube. So you can.
Standing on this course. And there's a guy with a worm in his head.
But no, again, comments on YouTube videos are optional. You can talk about YouTube videos without being on the YouTube video. And stuff like that. Like, you can, if you want to have a big thing, you can create a whole website called Talking About PewDiePie, and that's your free speech. You can do it. It's
Well, it's sort of being closed to criticism, though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, again, you can start. You could literally a blog. I'll do it tomorrow for you. So I can give you the password. Someone else can write it.
Wait a second.
Talking about Pewdie, and then you can just have big critiques of his videos.
I just turned some wheels in my head. I think,
You have head wheels.
Obvious trap. Corpses back there. Obvious
Corpses
trap.
are great for getting rid of traps.
Obvious trap. Lisa needs corpses. Obvious trap. Lisa needs corpses.
That is my favorite thing you've done. I like that.
Just call me Comedy Yahtzee.
Well, that was also from the marvelous last exit to Springfield, which is probably my second favorite episode of The Simpsons of all time.
What a nerd you are. Stop nerding up the place, you nerd.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be such a nerd in front of the video game critic.
Of course, the other matter that evokes, freedom to criticise in my mind was the story recently that's coming off recent controversies. Over 1,800 professionals in the games industry have come out to condemn hate speech. They're also talking about how they embrace diversity in games, how there's room for everyone, and suggested that everyone report when someone uses hateful language.
I was wondering, because I remember that fucking trap, because I remember getting caught by it the first time.
I assumed the button was the middle part.
Yeah, so did I, and I remember just that stuck in my brain really hard, like after the first instance. I was like, you
If memory
dicks.
serves, they do the opposite with this one.
Yes, that's
But yes,
the counter trap.
So there was this announcement, like a signed petition thing, saying that all these people condemned hate speech. And I remember thinking when it first came out, who is this message for?
Yeah.
Because no one who uses hate speech does not realise that it is a bad thing.
They do it to get this response.
That's why they use it. They know it annoys people.
It's to hurt. Yeah, and this is what I mean about like responding to tiny, weak people who 99% of these are just squawking on comment threads or on Twitter or something.
Even to condemn or report something is to legitimize something.
Just ignore them. That's the Chinese censorship machine does this thing, which I was staggeringly in awe of because it is one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. Where rather than directly censor something, right? If the China has their own versions of social media and whatnot. So rather than prevent you from uploading something, it'll make you think it's uploaded. So, like, if you've got Chinese Twitter and you put a thing up, it'll make you think that it's uploaded, but it'll be invisible to other people. So people won't.
They phantom ban people. That used to be a thing on forums I posted.
And the thing is, people will think that they've posted and just that no one's replied, and it's this soft social condemnation that hurts them and changes their mind. And I think that's.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Well, of course, the Chinese obviously gotten very good at censorship after all
I know.
years.
I don't like what it's used for, but I do have to appreciate the skill that went into that. And again, that's reacting is what these kids want. It's the child throwing a tantrum. This condemnation, they thrive on it. They want it. They want you to be upset and to wave your finger at them because you can't. What are you gonna? You can't get fucking actually catch them and spank them or do anything really about it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: they can't actually hurt you. You just don't give a shit about the children and sub-morons on the internet squawking and bleating. You can just ignore them. That's a power in your brain.
So, because on the face of it, don't make hate speech is a noble enough thing to say that no one will condemn, but that's the point. No one will condemn it, so why'd you bother saying it? Well, that's a completely obvious thing. Everyone knows.
This is something I bring up to people about, wanting to block offensive speech, and it's like it's easy when it's something that you don't think's offensive. So, take You know, it may be easy to say we shouldn't have like speech that is anti-gay, and I'd say
I
as
think
pro-gay as I am, I'm not going to tell someone they can't say that marriage should only be between a man and a woman. I'm not going to block someone from saying that. I'll disagree with them, but the counterpoint I bring up to people who say that shouldn't be is, well, if you criticize Israel,
puzzle solving.
yeah, if there are a lot of people who criticize Israel for what they do, and if you have a problem with offending people, that kind of rule can be brought to bear against you for doing something like criticizing Israel.
I think the recent controversies around the industry can be summed up in various ways. Social justice versus anti-social justice, feminism versus gamers, and that sort of thing. But I think it's could be more accurately described in the most
brain noodles.
Yes, in the most the reasonable halves of the debate. That it's more of a debate of free speech versus censorship, and it's sort of hard to defend when people say really the emotion-fueled statements like, "Oh, do you support people just saying whatever they like and giving death threats and giving hate speech?" So, having thought about it, like I said, I have to say, against censorship, yes, I do support hate speech, because if someone uses hate speech, at least then we know where they are.
Yeah.
We know that they harbour these thoughts, and we can possibly, if not persuade them, at least act in accordance with them.
Well, I mean, I've had conversations with incredibly racist people. Like, I've been called a gook butt kisser. I got called that by a 35-year-old man when I was 15. Like, that was a friend of a friend's dad got in my face and called me a gook butt kisser.
Oh, dear.
Coon lover, that's one. Like, God, what else? Just every other thing under the sun, because I'd argue with these people. And it took me ages and ages and ages to stop fighting them and to just let them fucking talk. Because if you let them talk, you find the little kernel of the problem. And most of the time, it's like a fear-based thing. Like people who have a problem with, the fucking...
Birdies, food for you.
And they're going to eat your little brain maggot?
They will if I get close enough to them.
Well,
the brain maggot doesn't like the sunlight, you'll see.
Well, yeah, I mean...
I have to use this box.
Yeah. Yes, you'll find the fear, and that's...
I mean, I even say get hate speech because even the most, most